Hey y'all, I know I'm a little dressed today. I'm kind of overdressed for cooking, right? But I met John in town this morning. We had several business appointments we had to tend to, and then I took him to lunch. We just ate a quick little lunch in town, and it was Popeye's chicken sandwich. That was the first one I had. Can y'all believe that? I know, they were all the rage, and I'm just now getting one. I know. I don't eat out much, I guess. But anyway, when he's running dirt and rock, he's got several loads to make. And I've got to get supper cooked real quick and something that can sit on the stove and stay warm, because then when he gets home, he and I have both got to get out in pastures. We've got timber getting cut in one pasture that our cows are not in, but our cows need to go into that pasture because then they're coming into the pasture where the cows are in. Plus, they've eaten all the grass. They need to get into that other pasture where the fence is down because they're pulling timber out of there. So he and I have got to fix fence this evening, and we've got a gate we need to replace there and move the cows. So we're going to be busy till dark. And I'm going to be too pooped to cook then, so we got to get this together right now. We got to hurry up because John's rolling toward the house as he's making these loads. He's getting closer and closer, isn't he? So the things you're going to need, this is red beans and rice. This is what my mother taught me, was red beans and rice. I was probably 14 when she first taught me to make them. And then I made them ever since. Then I was the red beans and rice maker. Until I moved out and my sisters took up the duty. But it's not your typical, and that's why I put that on the recipe title, because most red beans and rice, a lot of them just have a nice, they're in like a nice soupy gravy like stew with the red beans. Sometimes they'll have some sliced sausage in there as well, and you put them over rice and eat with cornbread, and they're delicious and wonderful and good, and I make them. Y'all know, y'all have made what I make. But also, my mother would add a few other things in there. She would put onions and bell pepper and garlic and thyme, and she would put tomato paste. She used canned pinto beans instead of your dried, and so I'm making these like my mama taught me. And she also put hamburger meat. And a lot of people that would eat this, I would say we were having red beans and rice for supper, and they say, oh, okay. And then they get through and they say, Amy, that's not really just red beans and rice. I thought we were just having that, which is fine, but this is a whole meal in a pot. So I want to share that with y'all. I don't think I ever have on YouTube before, and I did on Facebook, but it's been a long time back, hadn't it? I know, and a lot of you have been looking for it and can't find it, so we're going to do it again. Yes, we are. I'm going to get my onion chopped, and I've got 4 cloves of garlic and a bell pepper. I'm going to slice my sausage and open all my cans. And I'm going to move everything over to the stove, including y'all, and I will be back, guys. You are just too big for that little bowl, aren't you? Let's get you a bigger bowl. A bigger bowl. Yeah. I came back on here with y'all. Yes, I did. Some of y'all are gonna fuss because I'm just chopping and cut, but I don't know. Some of them say, as long as I'm cooking, I can talk. I didn't know I had the police on here, right? Oh, goodness. They're just entertaining for me. Just entertaining for me. Today's a real pretty day outside, but it's cold and crisp. I mean, it's pretty, like real sunny, but I mean, it's cold. It was 38 degrees when we got up this morning. Good gracious, it was like 80. I've been cleaning my porches off the last couple of days and trying to get them. Oh my goodness, I've had to blow them off. I've had to scrub stuff. I've got furniture I've had to scrub. I've been outside a lot. Sweating. And then today, it's this cold, crisp day. And I'm inside, right? But I'll get out there fixing fence and gates, won't I? Yes, I will. I didn't even bring my bench scraper over here, so I'm just going to do it like this. I started making this. My mama was real smooth. She was a working mother. My daddy was a working daddy too, but they would be gone, so we would come in and we would have chores, a list of chores we had to do. And I was the oldest, so I had the most chores, and I had chores for the longest, I guess you'd say. There are pros and cons to everything, and being the oldest and the youngest in the middle, there's pros and cons to all of it. But I would come in, I'd get off the bus, and I'd have chores, a list of chores to do. And my mother was real good at, she'd dole out some chores, let me tell you. They would be like polish the brass in the living room, clean the baseboards in the dining room. I mean, it was some, it wasn't your typical, there was also not your typical after school chores, but anyway. And she was real smooth about this. When you got of age where you could see the stove one evening, she'd say, come in here, let me show you how to make red beans and rice. I'd say, okay. So I'd bop in there. She usually had us in there cleaning up after her anyway. You know, we were not lazy children, which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. So anyway, she'd teach me how to make this, and you better pay attention, because that was it. Then maybe a month later, I might come in off school bus and it'd say, unload the dishwasher, do this and this and this, and make red beans and rice for supper. And I'd be like, oh my goodness. Oh, I mean, so, but I mean, she was at work. She worked in an office, so you could call her if you had any questions. She taught me how to cut up chickens over the phone. I had never done that. And she had cut up chickens. I thought, are you kidding? But I guess I owe a lot of my cooking skills to her, because she almost made you learn how to cook. So even if you didn't like it, at least you knew how to cook, right? So I mean, it wasn't a bad thing, but she sure would. She'd show you something one time, and then it was your chore to do, or your responsibility, or your duty. And I've made these ever since. And like I say, people will say about them, this isn't just red beans and rice, this is like a whole entire meal. And it is. It's very good. I don't think I've ever made it for somebody if they didn't just really rave about it and say they really, really liked them. So I was married before my first husband. I believe he just stayed married to me for these red beans and rice. He loved them. He loved them. That was like 1,000,000 years ago, really. It sure was. And John Murray loves them all the same. Yes, he does. But he loves me for all kinds of things. Y'all, let me wash that garlic peel off my hands. I guess y'all saw I was crushing that garlic to get those peels off. And then I'll kind of split my garlic in half. And I cut that little bitty end off, that stem end or whatever. I don't like that in my food. I just don't like how it looks, you know. Just doesn't look pretty. But yes, since it's such a pretty day, y'all know Jax, if I get on here with y'all, he starts barking. Barkity bark, bark, bark. But if I open the door, he can run in and out and bark, and he kind of likes that. But you know, here in Louisiana, we got bugs. I've had people come down here from Wyoming, girl from Wyoming. She had never been down here, and she was literally afraid at night because we've got so many bugs here, you know. We do. We're just in the South, and we do have a lot of bugs. So it was just different and eye-opening, you know, to see. She's like, I'm afraid of all these bugs at night. So she wanted to go in, because you don't know what's flying around at night around here. And that is the truth. But when you grow up around it, it just really doesn't bother you. It just really doesn't. But so I felt for her. So we would come in at dark. Yes, we did. We didn't stay out there with all the bugs. Okay, got my garlic, onion, and bell pepper chopped. And now I do not like to cut meat on a wooden cutting board. I know this is cured sausage, but I still just don't like to do it. Yeah, well, I was telling y'all, I've got my door open today because it's nice and cool and crisp, and I was hoping no flies would join our party. And so far so good. Yes. Guess y'all see I've got my little garbage bowl, my GB as Rachel Ray calls it. That's really a Rachel Ray garbage bowl. I bought that years ago, back when she first came out with them, and she called it her GB. Well, John, he caught on to that. He was like, yeah. Well, he loves to use that to make those cat head biscuits. That's his mixing bowl. And he calls it his GB bowl. And I laugh because I'm like, baby, you're saying that's your garbage bowl. But he's like, yeah, and it is. So I don't even know if he really gets it, what I'm saying. But anyway, he called it, where's my GB bowl? He's so funny. I sliced my sausage just in bite-sized round pieces, and I did not tell y'all what kind of sausage I was using. This is some that's made here. I think this is out of Louisiana, but I'm not sure. Y'all don't please. I can't read, but anyway, it's called Hickory Smoked Sausage, and it's Downhome brand. Downhome brand. And because I just don't want to tell a lie, let me stop right now. Boy, I'm gonna stress some people out here. Yeah, Louisiana. Yay! Stonewall, Louisiana. Okay. I actually got that right. Oh, goodness. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna chop this sausage and get off here and get y'all over to the stove. This time I'm really gonna be at the stove. All right, y'all. I've got everybody over here to the stove. My rice has come to a boil. I put a couple of cups of rice in 4 cups of water, and it's come to a boil, and I am putting the lid on, and turning off my gas, and I'm gonna let it sit. And do not open your lid again. Don't do it. And that way your rice will get done. I'm gonna turn this burner on. First thing I'm gonna do is get our sausage going over here. I have a big cast iron skillet. I like to brown my sausage just like when I do in my gumbo, because it gets that caramelization on the outside, and to me it helps it hold its integrity a little bit more to me. It doesn't just seem like boiled sausage. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? I bet some of you do. So I always add this step. Turn that up a bit and get those going. All right, this is on. We got to get something in here. Yes, we do. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil like that. Just some roundabouts. I'd say a couple of teaspoons if you're writing, okay? And we're going to put in that one large yellow onion that we chopped. You can put a white onion, whatever kind of onion is your favorite. And those 4 garlic cloves that we chopped. You can use that pre-chopped like I've showed y'all before that I used, but this is how my mama taught me, and that was back when you couldn't buy pre-chopped. So I want every last bit of you out of there. Get out. And we're going to put that 1 green bell pepper that we chopped in here. Ooh, I'm starting to hear the sausage. Do y'all? Yes. Yes. And I do not salt anything at this point, guys, because these canned beans that my mama will get me to use and that I use in this, they are salted, okay? These Bush's pinto beans. So I do not salt at here like a lot of times I would, but those have got plenty of salt, and I'm going to put them in there with the juice. So I never end up having to salt this, even though I'm putting this in here. Now, when I put that hamburger meat in here, I will sprinkle a little bit of salt over that, because that hamburger meat needs fat, but just a little. And y'all, that's another thing. I have never, ever, since I've been making this, since I was 14, I have never, ever written this recipe down. And so, I know y'all going to say, Amy, we want that recipe and we want you to write it down. And so, I'm going to get on that. Well, I'm going to have to, because I'm going to post it when I post this. I'll turn it up here for me right now. See if I can get all y'all moved up here with me. But when I post this, I'll, let's see, on Facebook, I'll put it under the title, which will be above my video. And on YouTube, I'm going to put it below. Trying to get everybody twisted around here. Right? I know. And on YouTube, it'll be below in the description box. And I know sometimes it takes me a little while to get those recipes in there, and I'm going to explain to you why. A lot of times when I'm downloading a video into my laptop to post, it will let me get the video posting, but it won't let me add all that until later. Like after it's posted, I'll go back. Sometimes it lets me. So, hey, you know, whatever. I just do what I can. But I get on there as soon as I can, and I add that video recipe. So if you don't see it the first time, keep checking. And I don't mind y'all sending me messages either, because it kind of sends me a little reminder, you know. I do not mind that at all. I'm going to let these onions and bell pepper and garlic saute just for a little bit. Let's flip this sausage. Let's see here. Get y'all down a bit. We will start moving this sausage around. And I always, it's something I always do, I always save. John Tyler's my youngest, and he wouldn't eat red beans and rice, okay? I know, but he loves that sausage. we call them sausage buttons, and so when I would cook this, I've cooked this since my kids were little. I never stopped since I was 14, I guess. And when I would cook them, I would just take up some of the nice brown caramelized ones in here in a bowl for him to have as a snack. And I'll do that today, but I tell you what I want to tell off on him. You know, he's newly married. Well, they married last March, which was a year ago. And they've got a little one they had this winter. And Ashley, y'all seen her. And he's that brand new husband. He wants to be that great husband. He won't eat a little snack here at Mama's house and then go home to Katie, because Katie's cooking supper. And so he doesn't want to spoil his appetite. And I think that's so sweet, because a lot of men would go on and eat that other treat. I know, John, this reminds me of a story that John's dad would tell about him and his dad. John's daddy was a telephone man out here in this area in Union Parish and other parishes. He was actually stationed out of Gina, Louisiana, for 46 years. So John a lot of times would end up going around with him on jobs. You know, that was back in the day when sometimes you could take your kids with you. It wasn't, you know, everybody wasn't suing everybody then. I'm going to finish that story, guys. I'm going to show y'all that my onions and my garlic and my bell pepper are getting pretty caramelized, translucent, and some of them are caramelized. So, at this point, I'm going to add this ground beef. And this that I got is 93 lean and 7% fat. And I love to get it less than that, then I don't have to drain it out. This is so little, I probably won't have to drain any. But if you've got real fatty hamburger meat, you may want to cook your hamburger meat first, so then you won't lose any of your bell pepper and onion and garlic. Let me rinse my hands, guys. Oh, I'm hollering, but my microphone's right here on me now. Okay, and like I said, I will season this just a little bit, just a little sprinkling of salt, okay? I wouldn't even say that was a 1/4 teaspoon on there, to be honest with you. But I'll probably put a 1/4 in my recipe. I'll probably say a 1/4 teaspoon. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Now, get over here and break this up. I'm going to finish this story before I let y'all go to our next step. I'm going to break that up. Y'all see what I'm doing. You see what I'm doing, right? Okay, let me get y'all back up here and finish this story about John's daddy and him. John will go around with him sometimes to some of these people's homes that he worked on their telephone lines and stuff. And after a while, when a man's on the job for 46 years, a lot of you know him, kind of like a UPS driver, you know. And so they would go into some houses, and the wife might offer, or the lady might offer them a piece of pie, or a piece of banana bread, or some kind of little treat, a glass of sweet tea or something, or a cup of coffee. And of course, to be polite, John's daddy would always accept that. Oh yes ma'am, sure, we like that. So they'd go in there and eat that. Well then on the way home, John's daddy would say, now son, when we get home, whatever your mama's cooked for supper, you sit down and you eat that like you are just hungry as can be. And I just thought that was so funny how he would do that. Because he was not going to not eat supper at his wife's house and say, oh no, I ate here. Because sometimes the lady would have like something like this, red beans and rice, or some soup or something that she wanted to share. So he'd be polite to that customer, and then he'd go home and he'd eat again. And John said there was many times that he and his daddy both be sitting at that supper table just as miserably full from being at a lady customer's house, and they just eat again. He said he'd think he was about to die, but he'd eat again, just cause Daddy said. And that's some good advice right there. Let me tell you, don't ever go into your wife who's been cooking and say, oh, I'm full, I ate at Miss Blah Blah's house. Now, that won't work. So anyway, I guess Tyler's listened to his daddy tell that story all the time, and he'll say, so he might take his sausage, I might just save him a few little pieces for a little bite at home, but he won't eat it till he gets full. He'll say, oh no ma'am, Katie's cooking so-and-so, no ma'am, I'm not going to ruin my appetite. So he's trying to be that super dad and that super husband, and it makes my heart warm, because that's what we all hope for, don't we? We hope that our own do that, and we hope that our kids grow up and do that. And both my boys are super dads and super husbands, and I'm real proud of them. I am. I'm thankful. But anyway, y'all see what I'm up to. I see some real good, nice little caramelized bits for John Tyler. I'll just get him a few. You know, Mama, she's still wanting to feed. Yes, she is. Let me get off of here so this video won't get too long. Y'all are like, too late, Amy. Okay, guys, we are on the downhill trot. We've got this. Doesn't that look good? It smells heavenly in here. Next, I'm going to put 2 cans, 6-ounce cans of tomato paste, and these already has basil, garlic, and oregano in them. You don't have to do that. My mama did not teach me that. It was just plain tomato paste, but this is all I had, and it just adds a little more flavor. It doesn't hurt a thing. Not a thing in the world. No, it doesn't. I'm going to put these in here now just like I'll do my tomato sauce for spaghetti if I've got time. If you don't have time for that, dump it all in here right now, okay? Just start dumping. But I'm going to do that right now, just like that. Rest that. I'm going to rest this somewhere. Let me just put it on my chopping board. Okay. And what I do is stir this around just like in my spaghetti sauce, since Aunt Virginia taught me that, and it sort of cooks the raw out of that tomato paste and almost caramelizes it a bit and gives it a real deep flavor. So I add that right in here in this recipe. I sure do. That little extra step means a lot. But if you don't have that to do here in a minute, just start dumping it all. That's how my mama taught me, and it was delicious, let me tell you. Let me tell you, delicious. Now here it's sizzling, getting some of that raw tomato taste out. Okay, next thing we're going to do while it's sizzling away, I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of dried thyme right here. I've got thyme for us to plant out by the canning kitchen too, guys, I sure do. So 1 level teaspoon, and I'm trying to give y'all some measurements here because, like I said, I don't normally measure this. I never have since I was 14, but I'm going to try to today, and I have got a 1/2 teaspoon now. I'm going to put some onion powder. I know I put onion, but I always do this. It's like two different little flavors, you know? You know what I mean? It is. I know it. I know. And then I'm going to put a half teaspoon of granulated garlic, not garlic salt, but granulated garlic. Let me show you. Or you could do garlic powder. Now I'm going to put that half teaspoon down because I've got some cayenne. You can skip this part if you want to. Let me give this a little stir around. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that tomato paste has got to be nice and cooked and caramelly. But I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of this for cayenne. Normally I just sprinkle this stuff in, guys, so if I'm saying something now and then I put something different on the recipe, it's because I had to go back and add some more flavoring, okay? But I'm trying to kind of guesstimate what I normally do. That smells good. You could almost make sloppy joes right here, couldn't you? I know, you could just spin off from this little core recipe. And next, we've got all these open cans with the juice of these pinto beans. This is why I saved my spatula that I did that tomato paste with. Some of those little beans don't want to come out. They want to hang on. Just hang on. And it's time. It's time to go into the pool. Or the hot tub, yeah. There we go. And now I've got this friend at church, Sharon. Miss Sharon, I'm not going to say your last name, girl. No, I'm not. She says, Amy, I make all your recipes and my husband has to eat them. And then her husband turned around and he said, yes, then I have to eat them for a week till they're all gone. So she says, how can I cook smaller? So I'm going to talk about that right now. I know this makes a big old bunch of them because I freeze stuff. And I told her that. I said, well, Miss Sharon, Miss Sharon, just make it and then freeze it, because that's all of the, I can't stand it if I can't see y'all, I know. But I said, just freeze it, and then, because we're making a mess right now, but the next time we cook, it's almost like you're cheating. All I have to do is make me a little pot of rice and thaw that in the morning and heat it up and make a little pan of cornbread, and, you know, it's like I cooked big all another day, so it's just smart, you know, it's not cheating, it's just smart. But Miss Sharon had another little stump. She said, I don't have a freezer space. I said, oh my goodness. Of course, my answer would be get a freezer, but she's not going to get a freezer. So, what I told her was start cutting this down. Of course, you could do 3 cans of beans and 1 thing of tomato paste. You could do a half a pound. I think that was about 2 pounds of hamburger. You could do 1 pound of hamburger. I think that's about 1.5 pounds of sausage. You can cut back from there. I mean, you could even cut it into thirds if you wanted to, okay? Because, yeah, this makes a big old pot, and I got to get y'all down here. So, anyway, I told Miss Sharon, I said, look, next time you're starting to make one of these recipes, let me know which one, and we'll figure something out so her poor husband doesn't have to eat it till the end of time. And now this is water, y'all, and y'all see this is real thick. That tomato paste has not got any liquid in it yet, so I'm not sure at this point what to do. Matter of fact, I wonder if I've got a can of beef broth. That would be real good in here. We'll start with that measurement. I'm coming back, guys. I was running to grab a can of beef broth out of the pantry. I did have 1, and I'm going to put that in here, kind of go along with that ground beef. This is something my mama did not do. We just added water, but I'm going to add this beef broth. I think it'd be a real nice addition. I think it's a, what ounce can is it, Amy? I don't know. And I'm always looking, a 14.5 ounce can. I'll put that in there too. So I'm going to add that first, and I think that's going to be about all the liquid I have to do. So just, what, not even a whole cup, right? Oh wait, not even whole 2 cups, like almost 2 cups of water you could add if you want to. That's all my mama got me to do, and it was perfectly fine like that. Yes, that's going to be good. So I would say 2 cups of water, or you could do a can of beef broth if you want to, beef stock, whichever. That is going to be absolutely right on the money, perfect. Yes, it is. It is. Now, all I do at this point, oh my goodness, I'm about to put our sausage in there. I heard y'all was hollering. I might have to add some more liquid now. Right? Like to forgot our pretty sausage. Oh, you know it? I know it. It's funny, you make something a million times and you sleep and you get on here with y'all yakking and talking. Those of y'all that think you wouldn't, try it. I dare you. I double dog, triple dog dare you. It's like a whole other ball game. Okay, y'all, now, doesn't that look good? Ooh, it already looks so good. It hadn't even cooked and bubbled yet. And all you got to do right now is about 20 more minutes. Let it kind of come to a slow simmer, because you know that's got that tomato in there and it could burn on you pretty easily. So be real watching and attentive with it, okay? And I've got rice. The only other thing I'm going to do is throw John and me a little pan of cornbread in here, and while that's baking I can get my kitchen all cleaned up. But that's all you need, is about 20 minutes on this, just on low. And I have done this many times if I needed to make this way earlier in the day and I didn't want it to burn but I wanted it to stay hot. I put it in crock pot on low or warm, and it works really well like that. This freezes terrifically. I will thaw this one day next month, like I say, and I'll feel like I'm cheating, and I'll make a little pan of cornbread and a thing of rice, and it is like you just made it. It freezes really, really well. Well, let's say freezes beautifully. Yes, it does. And I think that's all I wanted to say. Yes, I do. I've got to get cleaned up, get that cornbread made. Y'all know I've got to change out of these dress clothes and get on out there. I still plan on planting that garden with y'all. It's been raining and it's been freezing, so I hadn't put out. I've got tomato plants, heirloom ones. I've got all kinds. I've got jalapeno plants. We're going to pickle jalapenos together. I've done that forever for John. And I've got cucumbers we're going to plant. I've just got cucumber seeds. That's how I do it. We're going to make sweet pickles out of them. My grandma's sweet pickle recipe. I made them forever and a day. What else have I got? Oh, purple whole peas. Yes, we've got to have those purple whole peas. But anyway, so I still plan on doing that with y'all. Don't give up on me. And I gotta get myself rolling here because I gotta go do things.